Welcome to the e-filing overview. In this video, we will touch on how to register with a program and complete the reporting process. From our home page, you will select Electronic Filing within the Advice for Filers box. You will need a registration and PIN for each individual that is required to sign a report, as well as anyone who will have access to the reports that you create. Click on the Registration and PIN application. Once we have processed the application, you will receive the email with your unique registration and PIN, which will be your electronic signature for the reports that are filed with our agency. This reg and PIN is your name and will not change regardless of the filing role that you have. The email that you use for the e-filing program will be tied to the reg and PIN and cannot be used with multiple reg and PINs. After you have obtained the reg and PIN, you can register for an account. You can use the same account for multiple campaigns and/or packs that you might be involved in. Click on the ELEC eFile logo, which will bring you to the home screen for the program. Click on Register if this is the first time entering the program. Enter the reg and PIN, followed by your unique email. Create a password that meets the criteria, and then check the box. After you complete that, click on Register. You will receive a confirmation email which you will need to verify in order to enter the program. Log in to the program. The email that we are using for this program is solely a sample and is not monitored. If you need to contact our agency, please call us at our main number. This is the first screen that you will be brought to. Depending upon whether you are working with a campaign or political committee that is required to file an R1 for a particular election, or if you are a CPC or PPC filing the R3, you will select one of these applications. Click Continue on the appropriate application. For campaigns, you will need to enter the campaign name and election information. For CPCs and PPCs, you will enter the committee information. Once you click Save, you will need to select your first reporting year for this election, and then the applicable report period. Add your first reporting period. If you would like to set up another campaign or committee after this one, you can always click on Add New Reporting Cycle, which will bring you back to the home screen. Please see the registration and creating a reporting cycle under the Help tab drop-down to instructional videos for a more detailed video on how to register for the first time. From the Start screen, you can add users. Click on that button and you will have the option to either invite or add people who need to sign reports. Those who don't need to sign but will be accessing the reports and entering data can also be added as users. Please review the video under the Help tab drop-down's instructional videos on how to add users for more details regarding those options. Return to the Start page, and you will now be able to add your bank account. Click on Bank Accounts. This is also where you will need to add any additional assets that the committee might have. If you have multiple accounts, you will need to select the primary account as the default. The opening balance is where you will enter the funds transferred from a prior campaign. Otherwise, that initial amount should be zero if you are not transferring funds forward. And save. The deposits, disbursements, and closing balance will be pulled from the report once you have entered every contribution and disbursement. Remember to save after you have entered any data in your program. Once saved, you will be able to see the asset list with your account at the bottom of the Depository tab. Click on the Start tab, which will bring you back to the main screen. There are multiple ways to access the different tabs or parts of this program. We recommend returning to the Start page until you become more familiar with the program. Select Contributions. Here you will see that there are multiple types of contributions that you can enter. Remember, the program does the math and maintains the aggregates for you if you enter every contribution. Please enter all contributions so that the program works properly. The program will only itemize on the filed report those contributions which are required to be disclosed. If you have multiple accounts, make sure that the correct account is displayed in the bank account box. It defaults to an individual within the Monetary tab. If you uncheck the box, it will become a non-individual. Enter the full information. You can make any notes that you need to in the additional information field that will not be disclosed. An example would be a phone number that you want to maintain with that contributor. The comments box at the bottom will be viewed on the report if it is determined to be a reportable contribution. Use that field if you feel that an explanation needs to be disclosed for that particular entry. You can use the Show List button to display a list of entries from each schedule type. If you have multiple contributions from the same source, the program will automatically populate a pop-up box with suggestions from previous entries with that same name so that you can add additional contributions from that same contributor. If you do not want this to appear, you can select the Do Not Check Existing Items box. Remember, for the program to aggregate amounts from the same entity, you must have the same information entered into all of the fields. In-kind contributions are for goods and services. This tab defaults to a non-individual. You can change it to an individual by checking the box. You cannot change the bank account information for this type of contribution because it will not be deposited into the bank. The entries under in-kind are not added to the depository summary. Adjustments are for the refund of contributions. This will include excessive contributions which need to be returned to the contributor. Dividends and interest is where you will enter interest received for the bank or assets. Loans need to be reported even if you repay them in the same period. The program will not allow you to select a loan to repay if you do not have it reported first. Return to the Start page and now select Expenses. Here you will find where you can enter the payee information. Once again, if you have multiple accounts for the campaign, make sure the correct one is selected in the box next to the bank account. Enter the full expenditure information and save. If it is a credit card expense, you will need to add the sub-payees, detailing where the credit card was used and the full information for that payee. You can enter the sub-payees before entering the expenditure total, and then click on Set Expenditure Total with sub-payees total for the amount to update. You can add multiple sub-payees if needed. Other expenses. This can be used for office holding duties as well. Loan payment will only allow you to repay loans which you have reported. Please see our Midstream Filers video for more information on transferring loans and outstanding obligations from a prior campaign. The reported loan can be within the same period or from another period within the same campaign for candidates or same year for PPCs and CPCs. The same is applicable for obligation payments. Contributions made to others are for contributions that you make directly to other candidates or committees. Please fill out the full information. You must enter the election date and location if it is to a campaign committee. Expenses made on behalf of candidates or committees will need the payee information as well as who the benefiting candidates are. You will enter the amount that is given on this page. If you share in the amount that was spent, you will need to report your portion separately within the Expenses tab. Owed to committee. Any money that is still owed to the committee will need to be reported under this tab. If the entity that owes you money still has an outstanding balance, you will need to enter it here. Refunded disbursements will be where you enter voided checks or amounts that you receive back for expenses made by the campaign. There are multiple ways to search either contributions or contributors which you have entered, or pays or expenditures that you have made. As mentioned earlier, you can use the Show List option, or for a variety or all contributions or expenditures, go to the top of the screen and select the drop-down. For contributions, you have many options. We will select Search Contributions. This will allow you to narrow down by type, or you can opt to search everything that you have entered. There are any number of combinations that you can select to obtain the information that you need. The same applies to expenditures. Select Search Expenses, and you'll find that you have an expanded search where you can narrow it by type or dates, etc. At any time, you can preview how the report will appear once filed. Simply click on the Reporting tab and select View Reports. You have the option to either view the entire report or each page or schedule. It will download as a PDF on your computer. Once you open the report, you will be able to review it. It is not filed until you go through the eFile process. To eFile the report, select the eFile drop-down. Here you will be brought to the certification page. All candidates as well as the treasurer need to sign a campaign report. For our CPC or PPC, only the treasurer must sign. Please see the Adding Users video to add signers to the report. Depending upon how you have added other users, you will either certify or request them to certify prior to filing. When you click on Certify, the date stamp will appear. It is not filed until you click on the File with ELEC button and complete the process. If you change any data, such as contributions or expenditures within the report after you certify, but before you file, your certification will be erased and will need to be recertified. Click on Proceed to File. You will be brought to the confirmation page. You can view and access the PDF of the filed report here and on the main Start page. Click on the Go to Reporting Period selection or the Start button to return to the Start page and begin your next reporting period. As you can see, you have the PDF of the filed report on the left in the Report Filing Status list, and the Active Report list has a check in the box for Filed. If you need to amend anything from the report that you had submitted, select the Begin Amendment box and create an amendment, which is an exact copy of what you had filed. Once initiated, you have full access to make any necessary corrections before recertifying and filing with us. For further assistance, please contact our agency at the main number and ask for compliance.